Are you struggling? Are you trying to find the answer on how to be indispensable even when the odds are stacked against you? I have the most unique story on today's show that's going to impact, influence, and inspire you. Don't let your struggle become your standard. Hear it right here on The Reflection Show with Jose Flores.
Jose Flores, international speaker, motivator, author, and mindset disruptor. He is a world-class professional speaker that inspires and motivates individuals of all ages to strengthen their mental toughness and become indispensable leaders. Jose travels around the world touching hearts through his unique story of overcoming challenges in order to empower others to see life from a new level and achieve unlimited possibilities. He's developed a unique way to captivate his audience through his charismatic personality and straight-from-the-heart message that brings forth transformation, action, and inspiration.
A lot of you may be looking at me and saying, hey, he's in a wheelchair. Yeah, I might not be that strong physically, but mentally, I'm telling you, this is where most people get stuck, is in the comfort zone. And it's not until you make that choice and that decision that says, I'm going to step out, that things start to change in your life.
Jose is the author of a dynamic book titled Don't Let Your Struggle Become Your Standard. And it is with this motto that he lives every day of his life and inspires others to do the same. He's been featured on NBC, ABC, Fox, Entrepreneur, Addicted to Success, SiriusXM Radio, and iHeartRadio, where his message has impacted lives on a global scale. From one-on-one coaching to speaking for major corporations and conferences, Jose's message will leave his audience feeling inspired and motivated. He truly believes that the present is a gift and the time is now. He wants you to stand tall and be the very best version of yourself that you can be. Book Jose today and see how his message will ignite and transform your audience.
The Reflection Show. My name is Ramces Rouzard, and you know that I'm your host on this amazing show. You never go to the mirror scripted. You always go unscripted. And you know, on the Reflection Show, we like to bring stories that will not only influence you, but inspire you and impact your life. And today, I'm so grateful because along the journey of life, I've met this individual. And the minute I met him, we had a conversation that was powerful. And he has so much in him that I know that's going to change your life, challenge your perspective, but also cultivate you into who you are called to be. So I want to introduce this guest, the one and only Jose Flores!
Man, I love that intro, man. That's awesome, man. Thank you for having me on the show, brother.
Man, Jose, it is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful opportunity to have you here on the Reflection Show. I know you're on tour. You're stopping here in Orlando, Florida. And I just want to tell you, thank you for coming to the show.
Oh, it's my pleasure, man. I think it's been a long time overdue since we've been trying to connect with each other.
A lot of people don't know who you are, Jose. Can I break down to them and let them know who you are?
Absolutely, please do.
You got to get his privilege, because when you're sitting down here with a global speaker, you know, you got to show and expose to everyone who this person is. Jose Flores is a CEO, founder of Indispensable Now. He is a global motivator, mindset disruptor, and the #1 best-selling author.
That's right.
Author. Tell everyone this book that you've written, Jose.
Man, the book is amazing. It's called Don't Let Your Struggle Become Your Standard, How to Be Indispensable Even When the Odds Are Stacked Against You.
Even when the odds are stuck against you, what led you down this journey to write this book?
Well, you know, as you can see, you know, I'm in a chair. So basically my whole life I've been having to struggle. Right. I've been through a lot of different struggles, not only physically, but mentally, emotionally, relationally. And so, you know, I wanted to write a book to let the whole world know that we're all going to go through struggles. Struggles are inevitable, but being defeated by them is optional. And so I wanted to write this book to let the world know that they don't have to let their struggles whatever they may be. My struggle happens to be that I'm in a wheelchair, but there's so many other struggles that are out there. No struggle is greater than the other because everybody deals with it differently. So I wanted to show the entire world that they don't have to let their struggle become their standard and settle for what life throws their way.
You don't have to let your struggle become your standard. Jose, you know, we have a lot of people today who want to be successful. You know, they want to own a business, they want to be an entrepreneur, and they don't understand the level of struggles they have to go through to even bring this vision to life. What did it take you to get to where you are today?
Man, the number one thing that took me to get to where I am today, first and foremost, is my faith. Right? My faith in Jesus Christ. That's the motivator behind the motivator. And so number two, you know, my wife and kids, obviously, all that stuff sounds cliche, but to be practical, man, is consistency.
Yeah.
Consistency, being consistent, being persistent.
Wow.
Yeah, and being persevering.
Consistency, being persistent, and persevering over those things. Now, you say you are a mindset disruptor. Help me understand and help those who are watching understand, what does that mean?
So basically, I was born with a neuromuscular condition called spinal muscular atrophy. And what that does is the older I get, basically, the weaker my muscles get. So when I was younger, I was able to walk and run and do all the things that helping young boys do.
Right.
And as I got older, my body started to get weaker. And what causes what I have is a small deficiency in one of the motor neurons in my body. That's what causes this entire disruption.
Motor neuron.
A motor neuron. That's what causes your muscle to function, grow, move, expand, and get stronger. There's a deficiency in mine which causes me to get weaker as I get older. And so that disruption causes what I have. So my entire life, man, I've been forced to learn how to adapt and adjust. Adapt and adjust, even till this day. You know, the doctor said that by the age of 15, I'd end up in a wheelchair, and they weren't even expecting me to live past my teenage years. But this year, boy, I turned 43 years old.
43 years old.
43 years old. And, you know, so with that being said, and me having to be forced to learn how to adapt and adjust, I said, since this has disrupted my body, I'm going to use my mind to disrupt the entire world.
Wait, since this has disrupted your body, you're going to use your mind to disrupt the world.
That's right. That's right. And when I made that decision, man, it changed my life forever. Because once your brain gets exposed and expanded to another dimension, it can never revert back to the old one.
So let's help some people there, because you just said a mouthful. I don't think you understand what Jose just dropped on us. He said, once your brain expands, there's a lot more things it's capable of doing.
That's right.
What are some healthy tips that you can give people that are dealing with struggling in their standard and in their season that they're in?
Absolutely. One of the first things you can do to build your mental muscle is to practice an attitude of gratitude. Right? Practicing an attitude of gratitude. Les Brown, who's one of the best to ever do it, happens to be my mentor, and he calls me the motivator to the motivators, right? Because I call him sometimes, and he's feeling down and out, and I'm motivating him. We motivate each other. But on those days, man, where I'm feeling down and out, right? Because I'm human, I have my down days sometimes.
We all go through that.
We all go through that.
There's no one who can bypass that process.
Absolutely.
And that process is important because you learn your strength and your weaknesses, and you also understand that you are human.
That's right.
And that's a good thing you said that, because people don't understand. See, you're a global motivator. You travel globally, and you speak in conferences, you speak conventions, you speak whether it's small business, big business, you speak. So you see it all. You're motivating. You're pouring out so much to people that when it's time to pour into you, a lot of people don't know that you go through that.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the real, raw, authentic part that I like to show and display to people when I'm speaking. Because that's what captivates audiences, is that authenticity, that genuineness, that transparency.
Yeah.
I'm not afraid to get emotional. I'm not afraid to share some of my dark secrets and my dark sides, because that's what builds connection and community. And so one of the reasons why I've been able to call myself the mindset disruptor is because I've been able to I disrupt people's normal ways of thinking, right? I disrupt people's normal ways of thinking. But to answer your question, you know, all my clients, I tell them, you have to practice gratitude. on your down days, when you start thinking about the things that you do have, see, because that's what got me stuck, ladies and gentlemen. If you're watching this or you're listening to this and you feel stuck, you feel down, you feel depressed, you feel like things aren't going your way, we all get to that point at some point or another in our lives.
Yeah.
I want to let you know that if you start to begin to practice gratitude, just real simple, and I know sometimes it sounds so minute, but if you just start to be thankful and grateful for the things that you have. When I used to get stuck, man, it was because I was always focusing on the things that I couldn't do and the things that I didn't have.
Wow.
But once I started saying to myself, all right, that's not producing any fruit in my life. That's not producing any results in my life. You need to start focusing on what you can do and what you do have. And when I started doing that, brother, I'm telling you, it does something to your chemical makeup that it changes your physiology. You can be feeling down and out, and you start thinking about the blessings that you have and start being thankful for the abilities and the gifts and the talents and the blessings that you've been blessed with. That starts to change your attitude very quickly.
You said a mouthful. Adapt, adjust, transparency, honesty, overcoming, communication, understanding you're human, and here we have Jose Flores.
That's right.
What would you have what would you tell yourself when you were younger to the person you are today?
Man, I would tell them to start early. Like, don't waste all the time that I wasted. I love that question because everybody asks me that. Like, what would you tell your younger self? And I'm always like, I would tell the younger Jose to start earlier. Like 16, 17, 18. Start reading more. Start researching more. Start looking into things more. I'm a 70s baby, so we didn't have internet. And to be honest with you, man, there's no reason at all, zero reason why everyone can't be successful in some area of life. With the tools and resources that we have today, I mean, we have YouTube, Google, social media, people giving out free content, showing you how to do this, do that, videos that you can watch if you don't like reading and you know what I mean? So it's like there's really no reason why people shouldn't be reaching some level of success in their life.
And I can tell that you definitely dive into research because not only are you learning more about your body, but you're learning how to use your mind to readjust your lens to really produce something that will change the narrative to your situation to where people are not just looking at you, but they're looking at themselves.
Absolutely.
And what I love about who you are is your heart, man. You know, even though that people may look at your situation like it's a circumstance, but you look at your situation as an overcoming situation.
That's right.
It's almost like you said, you got to be what? Thankful and grateful.
That's right.
And I think sometimes people do get lost in the now things that they want rather than looking at the things that they have to say, man, in the near future, this is what I can have.
That's right.
Jose, you hold the key to unlocking the minds of this generation. What do you feel like you bring to the table that is different from any global speaker?
Well, the one of the things that I like to say is that I'm not going to let my condition become my conclusion.
Woo! Say that again. Say that again. I'm not going to let my
condition become my conclusion.
Woo! Say it again. One more time. I'm not going to let what?
My condition become my conclusion.
Hold on. One more time for the audience. Y'all got to say this. I'm not going to let my
condition become my conclusion.
Wow.
That's powerful, man. And it's transformative.
Yes.
Because you're starting to rewire and reprogram your thinking.
Yeah.
You're starting to reprogram and rewire the way you do things, your thought patterns. And again, remember, once you expand and expose your mind to a new level, a new dimension of awareness, you can never go back, man.
Now, one thing I admire about you, you're married, you have a family, and, you have an amazing wife who supports you and who leads you into a journey that no matter where destiny is, she's willing to ride with you there. There's a lot of people who are married in a relationship and they're struggling through their situation. What kind of advice would you give during their trials and their situation?
Absolutely. My wife and I, we help other married couples. We mentor them, we coach them. And one of the things that I tell a lot of couples is, first of all, most of the couples that we meet with, neither one of them have a physical disability, most of the time. So what I usually tell them, because I'm like the bold one that's not afraid to talk like this.
Yeah.
I usually say something like, Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Do either one of you have to get the other one dressed in bed? Do either one of you have to literally pick up your spouse and put them in a wheelchair? Do either one of you have to pick your spouse up and help them on the toilet, or take a shower, or tie their shoe? And I can go on and on and on. But then when I say that, they're sitting there like, oh man, you're gonna pull that card on me, huh? But I say it with such a passion and a level of wanting them to understand, like, my wife and I go through the same struggles that any other marriage goes through, right? But then you throw in the wheelchair component, and now that brings that marriage to a whole nother level of disruption.
Now, how do you motivate your wife during that time?
Man, I'll tell you something, bro. God has allowed us, and I'm telling you, it's a miracle, because when my wife is down, I'm up. And usually when I'm down, she's up. And we've never experienced a time where we're both down at the same time. I don't know what that would look like. We've never been there.
Yeah.
Right? So, and I'm thankful to God
Grateful.
for that.
We're grateful. We're grateful.
Grateful. But you know, we spur one another on.
Yeah.
You know, we uplift each other. Yeah. We help each other out. When one is down, the other one's up. We're there to motivate. I'm telling you, my wife is my biggest fan, my favorite cheerleader.
She disrupts your mind every day.
Every single day. She's the disruption behind the mindset disruptor.
Yeah. And how about your children?
Oh, my children are amazing, man. You know, that was my dream growing up, man. You know, everybody has the dream of the big house and the cars and all of that, and I had that too. But my main dream, man, to be honest, was wondering if a woman was ever going to love me like this. Reason being is because I felt like damaged goods. I was like, man, God, you got it all wrong with me. You got to do me over, God. This isn't the way it's supposed to be, man.
I think a lot of people have that conversation, though, but your conversation is different.
Yeah.
You know, and a lot of people don't understand how to be grateful for where they are. It's not to say to shun upon somebody else's situation. No, you got to look at to see what Jose is saying. You can overcome your battles. You can overcome whatever's trying to defeat your mind, because you're a father, you're a husband, you're a brother, you're an uncle, you're a cousin. And here you are every day have to look at yourself to figure out how you're going to give strength to those who are around you.
That's right.
That is awesome, Jose.
And it's tough, man. I'm not going to lie. It's tough always being the one that has to motivate and inspire. And on my days when I'm down, like I said, my wife helps me out. And I did a video about this the other day. And one of the things that, to answer your question, that sets me apart from a lot of other speakers is that I understand that my struggle is temporary, right? It's temporary, meaning that I can go through a situation, and that situation is only going to last maybe a couple of hours, a day or two at the very max, right?
Right.
When I'm going through a situation and I'm down and out, it's 1 to 2 days max, because I understand that it's only days. And the problem with most people is that they let those days turn into weeks and months and years. And the next thing you know, you spiral downward into a hole, a rabbit hole that is so, it seems like it's so hard to climb out of.
Yeah.
And that's what sets me apart, is that, you know, my slogan is I won't stop until I win. Right? And some people look at me like, man, Jose, you already winning. You made it on Forbes. You got a #1 best-selling book. Your wife is beautiful. You have children. There's physically able-bodied men out there that don't have a wife, that don't have a children, that don't own a home. And you have all these things. And I'm like, listen, I understand that and I'm grateful. But those wins, those were yesterday's wins. There's brand new wins every day.
Say that again. Those wins were what?
Those were yesterday's wins.
And there's brand new wins every day.
And we got to go at it.
So along this journey, is this how you came up with the title of your book?
Yeah. Yep. It's my whole life experience, man. Everything I've been through, the different mindsets that I had to grow through and go through. And just being able to develop that mental muscle, right? The mind is a muscle, and we have to develop it every single day. And that comes through. And I'm telling you, when I was younger, I didn't even like reading, let alone writing. And here I am, a 2-time best-selling author. My wife and I just finished writing an incredible book that's going to be dropping in Q1 of next year called What Real Love Looks Like. And that's going to be powerful.
And we can't wait to definitely interview you and your wife on that, because I think it is something that needs to be talked about, and you know, that would help other relationship, whether it's somebody who is dating or engaged or married, you know, because that's very much needed. Jose, as we end the show, you know, I always say there is someone on the other side of that mirror. And your words could be a reflection to their situation, their heart, their mind, wherever your words can go and help them see a different part of themselves. What advice could you give that person that's watching on the other side of that mirror?
Great question, man. Listen, if you're watching this and you're going through a situation, you're in a circumstance, you may feel down and out, you may feel broken, alone, and struggling. I want to let you know, just like I said earlier, you don't have to let your condition become your conclusion. And I always tell people, if I can do everything that I've done and accomplish everything that I've done, and I was able to come up on the other side winning, if I can do it, so can you. And I hope that you're feeling the energy from this program, because I want you to know that I'm speaking from the bottom of my heart with all purest love and genuineness, that you can make it, you can do it. And I want you to make sure that you tell yourself, I won't stop until I win. When I go through my days, that's what helps me push through. I say, Jose, you can't stop until you win. Remember what I said, every day there's new wins, new opportunities. So when you're feeling down, and if you're feeling down right now while you're watching this, just say, I won't stop until I win, and get excited about it. I'm telling you, when you change your physical state, it changes your whole chemical makeup. So if you got to jump, if you got to shout, you got to throw your hands up, and you got to say it over and over and over. Listen, the more you say something over and over and over, your brain is going to start to believe what you say. Your subconscious mind is going to start to believe what you say. So you keep speaking those positive words, keep speaking those affirmations, keep being grateful and thankful. And I promise you, I guarantee you, you will make it to the other side.
After all that, Jose, now I got some goodies in my possession here. Don't Let Your Struggle Become Your Standard, your #1 best-selling book. How do people get in contact with you to come disrupt their environment by shifting people's mindset, whether it's consulting, corporate event, or just a one-on-one coaching?
Absolutely. You can visit my website at joseinspires.com. It's real simple, joseinspires.com. You can email me, info@joseinspires.com. And I'm on all social media platforms. Again, real simple, at Jose Inspires.
Never let your struggle become your standard. This is Ramces Rouzard on The Reflection Show. And remember, your experience matters. Thank you for